Welcome back to Own Your Authenticity. This is your girl Ashley Renee. All right, guys. So listen, it's a whole situation. So last week, the video that you saw on Monday, I had recorded an IG live on the Friday, and 15 minutes before the video, I was supposed to get on and I was ready and I was like, all right, I have everything the way it's supposed to be. And when I started setting up, I was like, all right, Ash, I have 30 minutes to set up. So, let's get the ring light set up and do this and make sure everything is in place so that when 7:30 comes, you're on. Girl, between the cars outside, between all the little anonymous sounds that just kept popping up, the light not working. So if I start to look dark at any point in the video, at least you can hear me, and that's all that matters. All right, so today we're going to be talking about pulling the trigger. In my 5-step process from what it takes to thrive, I told you guys that it was pain, it was pulling the trigger, it was pursuing purpose, progressing past fears, and then pivoting. Being that we're all human, and sometimes life happens. I'm not sure what happened last week because up until when I uploaded the video into YouTube, I was like, all right, this is great, yes. And then I was like, no, this is not great, because this is not the second step. And we kind of fast forwarded. Hey, the point is, you're getting the message, and skip step or not, it's sloppy progress, not perfection. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about pulling the trigger, and it just basically means identifying all the triggers that are causing your pain, right? So you know what your pain is. My pain was that I was operating in survival mode, and I wanted to stop doing that. It's not healthy, it's not becoming of me, it's ghetto, for lack of better terms. I was like, no, we can't just keep going on the hamster wheel, on the cycle, because that's not life. That's not living life. And I don't want to be that person who is just constantly going, that she doesn't stop to smell the roses every now and then, right? So my triggers started to look like burnout and lack of self-care. Those were the top two. And a lot of it had to do with work. And I felt like, I was going, even when I wasn't. So for the most part, I work 3 to 4 days on average a week. And that's how my schedule is set up, because I work 12-hour shifts. Those 12 hours, honey child, boo-boo, ain't cute. They're not. Obviously, my body has gotten used to them. Not really. But over time, it's just, you get accustomed to it. It's your routine. You just keep doing it. But I realized, months in, that I was coming home, I was tired, I was feeling sluggish, my feet would be on fire, my shoulders would be tense, sometimes my back would get stiff, and there were all these little things that just kept adding up. And everybody tends to say, oh, you're young, you'll bounce back, it's not that serious, I've been a nurse for umpteen years, and yada yada yada, and BS. And I'm just like, okay, but that's your problem, that's not my problem. And I refuse to be broken down until what? By the time I'm 30, because work is taking a toll. So for me, operating in survival mode, that was 2 of my main triggers. I just felt like it was just a constant ongoing thing where I would come home and I would just feel as Jamaican people say, pop down, just all straight and throughout. I would come home and I'm just like, bruh, I literally, this is me, oh my god, why do I feel like this is so much, and it was just a constant cycle. And I was like, no, this is not, I don't want to feel like this all the time. Well, ever, come to think of it, who wants to feel like their body's just not theirs? And so even yesterday, this video is pre-recorded, yesterday I went to work, and I kid you not, I want to say not even halfway through the shift, because this started on Tuesday, halfway through the shift. And then yesterday I just felt my shoulders were just like tightening, like all 12 hours they just like did this. Every hour they just did this, and I just felt like they were just balls, just rocks, just sitting on top here. And it took a while for me to realize what was happening. It took a while for me to realize that I was being triggered. So I think what had happened was I was so much in the cycle and just going and going and going and on that hamster wheel and not taking a stop to see, okay, what's happening? How are you feeling? What are you feeling? Right? A lot of us get burned out, and then that's when it's like we blow up, and our bodies do the same thing. They're wired to just keep us going. Keep going, energize the bunny, keep going. And then at some point the battery dies, your body runs out, your body's like, no, you need to stop, right? And so for me, even though personally this led to my purpose journey, there was a point where during the height of the pandemic, I got to the point where I felt at ease, because it was like, okay, I already know what my shifts look like. Yes, I'm working tirelessly, but I didn't have all these other external factors happening. And so I don't know about you guys, but for me, there are a lot of times when work would happen, come home, and then you gotta go out with your friends, and then you gotta do this thing, and then you gotta do that thing, and you're just packing so much onto yourself that you don't take the time to just pause. And so during the pandemic, it was the perfect opportunity to just pause. Like, just stop, let everything sit, lay it all out on the table, and see what's happening right now, right? What pain are you in, and what's causing that pain? And that was what was causing my pain. My triggers manifested physically because I wasn't taking care of myself at a certain point. I wasn't combing my hair. I just wasn't putting the extra effort into being the best version of me, and that bothered me. To be honest, I'm the girl that can go to the supermarket with a bonnet on and, you know, Uggs and a t-shirt and sweats and be okay with it. I'm that girl. I can. I've done it, and I'm okay doing it because I'm comfortable. But when it comes to a point where that's your go-to, it's not like, oh damn it, I forgot the potatoes, let me run out real quick and get it. When it becomes, all right, I guess I'm gonna put this on because, you know, I can't be bothered. When it comes to that point, then it's a problem. And I was being triggered so much that I wasn't paying attention to myself, and that was my problem. That was a problem for me. I wasn't taking a step back to say, okay, what does Ashley Renee need in this moment? I wasn't feeding myself. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally, I just wasn't feeding myself during that time. So, as I said, pandemic for me was my pause moment, and I'm encouraging you, if you've identified your pain, whatever it is, and not to make it sound like it's all about work and work is this evil thing. Whatever your pain is, it might be a relationship. You're in a relationship that's not serving you to the best of your ability, and you might be triggered because your partner's constantly poking or prodding or not motivating you, not helping you become your best self. That might be your triggers, right? And now you're sitting here wondering whether you're worthy. Your pain can be literally, your pain can be anything, but the point is, you are on the journey to surviving something. You're not thriving in it, whatever it is. You can be surviving a relationship. To be honest, a lot of people survive relationships. They don't thrive. There's no, I don't want to say happy ending, because relationship is a journey as well, but there's no joy. There's no thing to hold it together. It's just based on what happened in the past and trying to hold on to that past. And a lot of us do that in life. We get the job and it's like, yeah, we got the job. And then the job is great. And then the job is not so great. But then we're still stuck on the fact that when we got the job, like, it was great. So then Now we're here and we're declining, but we don't realize that we're at this point, and we don't stop to see that we're at this point because we've been triggered so long, it just becomes the norm. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm rambling, but in my head it makes sense. So saying all that to say, I want you, even though last week we made a blunder and did purpose, I still want you to go back and see what is triggering your pain. What is the pain that you're in? May it be your relationship, may it be your job, may it be schooling, may it be family issues, may it be just life on a whole. It's just a constant pain for you. May it be money issues. Whatever it is, you're on a journey to something, and your pain is what's hindering you. Your pain is what's holding you back. Your pain is the thing that's causing you to not thrive. But what is triggering it? Right? So I want you to sit back. I want you to journal, because I'm a journaler. I just made that up. And I want you to see what exactly is triggering you in this season, and what is it going to take for you to pause. Press pause, stop, hold off, wait a minute, and say, this is what I need to do to really pinpoint what's best for me in this season. Identify your triggers. Drop it down in the comments below. Definitely let me know. As I said, these were mine. I'm still figuring out. Some of them are still being pulled out of me, believe it or not. And so I want to have a conversation about this. So let me know in the comments down below. Definitely subscribe, turn your notifications on, and I will see you in the next video. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.